Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
You can hear me on YouTube?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
bye.
Awesome, guys. What's going on? Good to see you all this morning. I would love for you guys to all come up to the stage. So if you guys can join the stage, that would be amazing. I'd love to see you guys on the stage here this morning. So it looks like we got a pretty intimate crew. Let's see if everyone can join the stage, join the stage, join the stage. And we're going to talk about what you guys need to talk about. Okay. So what I can do to help you guys overcome what you guys need to overcome, right? So I do have specific things that I love to talk about: sales, hiring, training, recruiting, right? The basics. However, there is a few things that I've got pretty locked down when it comes to part two, um, when it comes to closing veterans and just kind of how I do that. So we can talk about that. I'd love for you guys to join the stage so I can kind of see like what you guys need, because I want to be able to help you guys the most, right? So we got some vets in here that will probably want some advanced training. Some Garnica, looks like you got the new place, bro. The new background goes crazy. I love that. That's super sick, man. Awesome. So for those of you guys that don't know, I've really only been here for about a month. However, we're gonna have an agency that the goals that I have for the agency for each of you guys can share along these goals with me. But it's obviously to have a multi seven figure company, right? So if you want to have a multi seven figure company, what does that come down to? It comes down to duplication, okay, and it comes down to leadership. So duplication and leadership are really, really, really big, important key parts to building an agency. And so leadership is something that, the skills of your team rises and falls on leadership. And so what does leadership look like in the insurance space, right? Because leadership looks different, like whether you're on a sports team or you're a football coach, or you're in a sports team and you're a team captain. Leadership looks different. So what does leadership specifically look like in an insurance agency? Okay. I was talking to Keisha with a little bit about this. Good morning, Keisha. Good to see you. So I was talking about to Keisha what leadership looks like in the insurance space, specifically outside of the realm of just leadership in general. So when you are starting to build your organization, right? And I talked to this other guy the other day at the gym. He's like, "Hey man, like I'm only 4 months in, and he works at another insurance agency down the street." And I'm like, "That's awesome. Has your boss allowed you to start recruiting and hiring yet?" He said, "No, I'm only." I said, "That's really weird." I was like, "We don't even bring you on the team unless you are open to hiring and training." Right? I wouldn't even like he wanted me to test him out to see if I wanted to give him a job. I didn't even offer him the opportunity because he wasn't ready yet. But I was like, "Look, man, like if I did bring you onto my agency, I would make you start hiring your first week. I would make you start hiring your first week out because I don't want to spend my time with somebody that's not going to be multiplying the agency, right? Are you going to add to it or are you going to be a multiplier, right?" David talks about that a lot. And that's something I really, really look forward to. And I really love is the fact that you want to work with the people that are going to multiply your business because I mean, my goal is to hit seven figures. Your guys' goal should be to hit seven figures as quickly as possible, right? And so to do that, you want to be spending multiply your business. And if you don't have those people in your business right now, that's totally okay. I remember when I first started, I didn't have those people in my business either. The people that were in my business weren't very good at all. And I probably could have protected my time a little bit better because I was pouring time into people that weren't really going all in with me. So you want to make sure that people do go all in with you. So when I first started, I would hire anybody and everybody. I remember hiring this 80-year-old guy who could barely work Zoom, right? And it was like pulling teeth. I'd be like, "Look, like you press this button, you share this screen." I just wanted to turn anybody into like somebody great. And the truth is how do I know somebody's going to be good? Number one is, can they follow directions? Can they follow directions? So when you're hiring somebody and you're bringing somebody on, I give somebody a set of directions. Hey, For example, Jay Rue's going to put you in a group chat to get your school, to get your Discord, and to get in training. Once those 3 things are done, report back to me. Go out, and then maybe a week goes by, and I text them, hey, did you get into training? They say, no, I didn't get into training. You know what I said back to that gentleman? I said, honestly, I don't think you're ready for the opportunity yet. I gave you 3 instructions: get in school, get in Discord, get in training, and you didn't get into training the week I wanted you to get in training. How come you didn't get into training? You know what he said? He said, I slept in. I was like, oh, snap. All right. Yeah. And then guess what? I told him I take the opportunity away from him. And guess what he says? Is there a way that you can change your mind? Is there a way that you can change your mind? I'm like, I literally didn't respond, because if I was him, I'd be doing everything to get back in my good graces. Hey man, sorry I missed training. I slept in. It won't happen again. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to be there on time tomorrow morning with my camera turned on, with observer in my name. Like, if I was in his position and I made a mistake like that to my boss or my mentor, I would do everything I could to make it up. Right. So as Jacob Valdelon says, he wants to be the best student. He's the best student. That means he should also be looking for the best students, right? So you want to be the best student to David, to Jacob, to Aiden, to myself, right? CJ did a great job of calling all of his plus leads in home. He called all of his plus leads in home. He took what Aiden taught him, the very next presentation, got 8 plus leads, and called all 8 plus leads with the client on the phone, and left voicemails for all 8 plus leads. So when I see that, guess what I want to do as a leader? I want to help CJ grow. I want to help CJ build, because he's able to take and then implement. He's able to learn and then do. So just because you can hire anybody at this opportunity, right? I was thinking this morning to myself, I was like, I've hired a real estate guy, a timeshare guy, a car wash salesman guy. I've hired a guy from the grocery store. You know, I've hired grandparents. I've hired 18-year-olds. Anybody can do this opportunity. But what is going to make that person stand out is the way that is coachability, right? The biggest thing is going to be coachability when you're looking for new hires. Are they coachable? Now, as a leader, you got to learn that coaching is different for each individual, right? Coaching is going to be a whole lot different for Faith than it is going to be for Zach. Like Faith, she's brand new to sales, right? She doesn't have much experience. She's hasn't probably dealt as much rejection as Zach. I look at Zach, he's got all the baseballs back there. I can give Zach a sports analogy. If I gave that same sports analogy to Faith, it'd go right over her head. She has no idea what I'm talking about, right? Loves baseball. But so what I'm saying though is you got to understand who you are talking to, right? And the big part about that is what I have on all of my team is notes on each and every single one of you guys. I have notes on every single one of you. I have notes on your why. I have notes on your family. I have notes on your children. I have notes on your parents. I have notes on your goals. I have notes on everything that we've talked about, because personally, I don't remember things very well. So when you call me, I want to remember what we previously talked about. So I take notes on my team. So when my team talks to me, I can be like, hey, you know, I'm not going to air anybody's laundry out because I have all your goals. I'm not going to say, you know, what I see on your guys' sheet, but it's like, hey, like we talked about this. Can we get to here? And another thing that David taught me was when it comes down to coachability and you're building an agency is it doesn't really, I want to say this the right way. As long as they're progressing, that's what counts. As long as they're progressing, that's what counts. So you come up with a goal. Like, for example, Eric is like, hey, Luke, I'm going to show up from 3 to 8. Okay, awesome, Eric. I want to see you from 3 to 8 every single day. And then at the end of the week, I text Eric, hey, Eric, you said you were going to show up from 3 to 8, but I only saw you 2 days out of the week. What happened? So I can hold you guys accountable to what you guys say. So for Zach, I'm like, Zach, what's your goal for the week? Zach's like, I want to get into my first presentation. Okay, by Friday, I'm like, hey, Zach, did you get into your first presentation? I'm not putting that on Zach, but Zach actually committed to that. Now, I saw something, you guys all should know Conor McGregor, but when you commit to something in your mind, Conor McGregor said this, when you commit to something in your mind and you don't do it, it deteriorates the trust that you have within yourself. So if I say that I'm going to wake up at 8 a.m. tomorrow and I don't wake up at 8 a.m., I lost trust within myself. If I say I'm going to wake up at 8 a.m. and I wake up at 8 a.m. on the dot, boom, I got a win for the day. If you say that you're going to do 1 plus lead sit for the week and you don't get into your first plus lead sit, you took an L personally. So these little wins and these little losses are huge for your own personal growth. So if you've committed to your manager what you are going to do, it doesn't necessarily hurt the manager as much as it hurts yourself if you don't accomplish it, right? So if you guys make a commitment to yourself, follow through on those commitments. Now, when it comes to building a multi-seven-figure agency, it can happen really, really fast. Things can go really, really well because of the systems that we have in place. But like I said, it rises and falls on leadership. That's the way that you communicate with people. That's the way that you track their goals. That's the way that you coach them individually. That's the way that you connect with them personally. Because I used to have a really transactional relationship with my team, very transactional. And I'm working on that. It's going to be it needs to be more relational. Guys, this is a family here. We're all 1099 agents. Like, in reality, your business succeeds, everybody's business succeeds. It doesn't come down to like, if you're not on my team, I don't want to talk to you. Like Gradivi, I've answered your questions. Sorry I didn't pick up your call the last time, though. I'm sure you got that question answered. But if you're not on my team, like Stephen Garnica, I share something with him. He shares something with me. He's helped train my people. I'm here to help him with hiring. Aiden, hey, Aiden, I need help with this. Can you help me with this? Yes, Luke. Hey, I'm going to help you keep track of your goals, right? Michael, he's always hyping me up in my DMs every time I do something good. Michael Ayala, right? So even though we're not all on the same team, we can all help each other get to the next level. We can all help each other grow. And that's what I really love about this agency, because I don't want to say not every agency, but I've been a part of a lot of agencies, and a lot of those agencies aren't like that at all. It's very, very, very gatekeeping. I remember I was talking to a multimillionaire in the insurance space not that long ago, and he was like, I asked him a very, very simple question about hiring, duplication, and something like that. He says, if you want that answer, you're going to have to work for me. I was like, what? He's like, if you want that answer, you're going to have to be on my team. I'll give you, I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you. But if you want me to mentor you or to share anything that I've learned in my past 10 years as an agency owner, you're going to have to be on my team. And that's like other agencies. Like, you guys don't understand how nice it is to have Jacob Valdelon help me with a question that I don't have the answer to. How nice it is to have Aiden do these calls, even though he's not overriding on my team. How nice it is to have Stephen Garnica leading from the front with sits and plus leads. Even when my guys fall short, I know that Stephen is going to be in a presentation for one of my new people to watch. These other agencies, you would have to do it all on your own. You have to do it all on your own. You have to build the systems. You have to go hire the Lenores. You have to go hire the J-Roos for yourself. We have Lenore, we have J-Roo, and David's already purchased, like, literally pays them salary to help you guys build your agency. That is very rare, very unique, very relational, not transactional. So when it comes to leadership, are you being relational or are you being transactional? When it comes to leadership, are you coaching them how they would understand how they want to be coached, right? Are you communicating with them the way that they want to be communicated with? And every single person's different. That's why it's important for you to take notes on your team and the way you communicate with them. Now, when it comes to sales and down closing, this is just going to be a quick for some of you guys, because I saw some of this happen this week. You want to show really high, right? That's very, very good. Like 400 to 700 show high. But then when you're getting down to the recommended or the basic program, you only want to go down $30 to $40. $30 to $40. So the average AP per deal is 2,000, right? That's 166 bucks. That means your basic plan should be between 170 and 220. So my basic plan is always between 170 and 220. All right, that's how we're closing really big. So my basic plan is between 170, 220. Usually my recommended plan is right at that 280 to 291. Right, that 280 to 291, which is our maximum guaranteed offer that we can get paid that Friday on. And then my enhanced plan, that can be anywhere between $400 to $700, $400 to $800. That's going to be my sticker shock price. So we're going to hit them with the enhanced plan of just something absolutely ridiculous between $400 to $800. And then my recommended plan is going to be right at that 280 to 291. And then my basic plan, because I know that the average AP per deal is 2,000, is going to be between 170 and 220. Okay, it's going to be between 170 and 220. So that's how I build my plans. Now, if it comes down to the 170 to 220, let's say you're at 220. Instead of going from 220 to 150, you go from 220 to 190 because now it looks way less, right? And then if they have to go, you down close again, you go from 190 to 160. You don't down close your foot off, right? Because you want, our average AP per deal is 2,000. So if your average AP per deal is less than 2,000, you're down closing too much and you're taking off too much value. Now, something else that I've done is, let's just say John and Mary, they have 50,000 in whole life final expense protection right now, and they're seniors. All right. And in the freedom of choice, it's talking about, hey, this is amazing because this is going to pay out immediately within 6 months, immediately, where other policies take 6 weeks to a year to pay out, right? Okay, great. Now let's just say that's not hitting hard as it could. Let's just say like they don't really see the value in that. They're like, well, I already got the 100K. Like, it is what it is. I got 25 in my bank. I got 100K. Like, what do I need another 25,000 for? So what I've actually done, this has helped me close 2 deals now, is I pitched the freedom of choice as income protection for seniors. So what do you mean by that, Luke? All right, so doesn't matter. It's life insurance is life insurance is life insurance. The freedom of choice, let's just say it's 12,000. Okay, it's 12,000. That means they can take that 12,000 and they can use it properly, $1,000 every single month, right? There's 12 months in a year. It's a $12,000 policy, $1,000 a month. You can throw that in as income protection. So that's amazing, John and Mary. You've already got your final expenses taken care of. Congratulations, that's huge. And then on the script, I'm going to go down to the income protection part and read the income protection part. And I pitched it as income protection. It's still life insurance, but now it has a different purpose. Because in their mind, they already got their funeral and final expenses covered. In their mind, he's like, I already paid for my cremation. I already paid for my funeral. I already paid the funeral director. I've already got $50,000 in final expense life insurance. But do you have $12,000 of income protection? No. Okay. Wow. You see why I'm out here today, don't you then? Because what's going to happen to Mary, God forbid something happens, that $50,000, that's going to be there to cover those funeral and final expenses, maybe help out with a few bills, but the rest of the year, the bills are still going to be coming in. The mortgage, the rent, the water, the gas, the utilities, the food has to be on the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to set aside $12,000 for income protection. That's $1,000 every single month. Isn't that amazing, John? Right? And those tie downs, I love the does that make sense tie down, but there's more powerful tie downs than this. A does that make sense tie down is a rookie level tie down. A strong tie down is, Mary, don't you see the value behind that? Wouldn't that really do something amazing for your family? John, doesn't that make you feel good knowing your wife is protected when you're not here? And then you get the yes, you get the yes. Yeah. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I get that yes train. I get it. I really do. But you can replace the does that make sense with, you see why I'm out here today now, don't you? Doesn't it make you feel good having this in place? Does that make your wife feel more secure, John? Mary, does that make you feel more secure knowing that John would do that for you? Okay, another thing I see rookie producers doing on laydowns is they get to EAP prematurely and they skip half of part 2. So let's just say, you show the enhanced plan 480, you show the recommended plan 280, and then they're like, yeah, let's go with the 280. And then you didn't even show the basic. They're just like ready to go. A lot of new agents, they get a little jumpy right there. They're like, okay, let me just go ahead and open up EAP. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see if you qualify. No. So what you do when a client is a lay down and they went for the recommended plan on the rip right off the bite, they're like, yeah, I want that plan. You take it away from them again and again and again and again and again. What do I mean by that? So in the script, whether it's Strike Class or the Platinum Production script, they're both the same. It still has this part where it's talking about, is there an absolute need, a general need, or no need at all? Okay, the system is going to show you guys why there's an absolute need. Number 1 is because you guys don't have your funeral and final expenses. Number 2 is you have minor children. Number 3 is you still have a mortgage and a rent coming in. And number 4 is you still have children under 18 and you don't have any income protection. You don't have your final expenses taken care of. So you can clearly see why there's a need, right? Yes, I clearly see why there's a need. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm not 100% sure you qualify for it just yet. So let me go ahead and get into my medical questions. So even when they jump and they want to buy the policy, that doesn't mean you just get straight into EAP. You still finish part two. Does that make sense? You don't just go straight into EAP. You want them to be on the edge of their seat. That's why we talk about qualifying, 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 qualifying. Hey guys, you need to be on the edge of your seat, not 100% sure if you're going to qualify for this yet. So just because they said they want $291 doesn't mean you get straight into EAP. You still follow your process. You still follow your procedure. You still follow the script because it's going to create a bigger anticipation within the client. They're going, like, I'm a young guy and I have young guy analogy, so I apologize for this. But it's like I've said this multiple times, but it's like a dog when there's dog food right there, and the dog food's like, okay, cool, dog food. But then let's say you throw a steak in front of the dog. Now the dog is like starts dripping from his mouth, right? That's going to be the client when you continue to take it away, take it away, take it away, and follow the script when they already agreed to the recommended program at 280, 290 the first time. Then you take it away, follow the script, follow the procedure, stick to the plan. And not only does that help with your leadership, your duplication process, your coachability for new agents, you're also showing the program the right way. It's going to be better for your agency as a whole because you're sticking to the script and you're not just, being like, okay, awesome, they want the plan, let's go ahead for it. That's selling life insurance, guys. Life insurance is you just get them to agree to a price and you sling the deal. That's not what we're doing here. We are building a veteran's plan of protection. There's a process, there's procedure, there's professionalism. Process, procedure, professionalism. Another person asked me the other day, how do I deal with rejection? Guys, I reject the client before they can reject me. I haven't had rejection. So what do I mean by that? If the client is not grateful, right? Jacob talked about this yesterday. If the client is not grateful, I'm not going to talk to them. If the client doesn't understand we're going to talk about life insurance, I'm not going to talk to them. So the client needs to understand the expectations. The client needs to be grateful. The client needs to understand why I'm there. If those three things do not match, then I'm not going to sit them. Does that make sense? You don't have to sit everybody. You only want to sit the people that are grateful, that know why you're there, and know you're going to talk about life insurance. That's going to save you a lot of time. Now, I understand the idea of going for plus leads. That's great. Let's do that. Go for plus leads, go for plus leads, go for plus leads. But in the plus lead part, this is also where you need to get good at tie downs because you want them to see the value in the will, right? So I actually hired a lady yesterday. She worked at Bank of America where she does the probates. She does probates. I was like, oh, snap. I was like, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. She was like, yeah, I worked at Bank of America for 20 years. And if you do not have a beneficiary listed on your Bank of America account, you go to a probate 100% of the time. And she says, it is drama. And I've been dealing with that drama for 20 years. So the fact that your company does free wills for veterans is such a big deal. She was like so excited because she literally worked in the probate department in Bank of America. Like, guys, come on. Like, she understood the why. Like, she had the conviction of the will. And it was my first time I've ever met her. When I told her we do free wills to help people get out of probate, she was shook because she worked in the probate department for 20 years. So if you guys are not selling the will good enough, I hate to say this, but fear sells, right? You need to make the client afraid of what could happen. Is that client afraid of what could happen to their family? Fear sells when it comes to the will. And then my tie downs are very strong when it comes to the will. Hey, John, so isn't it amazing that you're going to save your family tens of thousands of dollars and possibly years of drama and headache? Fighting attorney fees? Doesn't that make you feel a whole lot better knowing that you got this will in place? I get him super, super jacked up on the will. And then when I get to the sponsorship program, I'm like, guys, you're not going to believe this. This is amazing, right? You guys are like, at the end of the day, we're benefits representatives, but you're still a salesperson. I'm like, guys, this is amazing. I don't know if you guys are ready for this. Are you ready, John? John, the company, because you served, John, you're actually able to sponsor in those people that we mentioned on the estate planning guide. You're able to sponsor in your veterans and your family. That's going to save them thousands of dollars and years of drama with probate. So I'm going to go ahead and send out these text messages right now. Quick selfie. Boop. Let me go ahead and send that text message out right now. Go ahead with the first phone number. Okay, awesome. Go ahead with the second phone number. Go ahead with the third phone number. Go ahead with the fourth phone number. Okay, great. You got that text? Go ahead and respond. Thank you, Luke. Please reach out. Copy that, paste. Copy that, paste. Copy that, paste. Copy that, paste. That's how we set that up. Any questions on that so far? So extremely grateful for the will. Oversell the fear of probate, right? Show high, basic plan around that 166 to 220. Down close short, down close small, $30 down closes. Stick to the script when they are for sure sales. When they're laydowns, stick to the script because you still can provide way more value for the client. Okay. And I see a lot of you guys pressing spacebar prematurely. When it's freedom of choice, accidental, common carrier, auto accident, monthly income protection, hospital benefits, I see you guys just spamming the spacebar. Boop, 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 boop. That's not how it goes in the script. In the script, it says freedom of choice. Press the freedom of choice certificate. Now show freedom of choice. Now read income protection. Now read the accidental portion. Now press accidental death. Spacebar. Now, because what happened was on Keisha's sale yesterday, Keisha, I hate to say this. I saw you here earlier, but you press spacebar on all of them, and the client's like, "What am I looking at?" So the client was like, "Is this 200,000 for accidental, 200,000 for auto, 200,000?" So that's what 2, 4, 6. Is that 600,000 for accidental? Because she pressed spacebar prematurely and didn't read the script first, right? So now the client thinks they have 600,000 in accidental. And they're like, well, what is monthly income protection? Because you didn't read it in the script, the client is asking questions prematurely before you were able to explain it. So explain it, spacebar. Explain it, spacebar. Explain it, spacebar. Explain it, spacebar. Then that's when it goes into, now we're going to see if there's an absolute need, a general need, or no need at all, right? So be smart on when you're pressing the spacebar because, like, yes, it looks like it's common sense to us, but when that client was like, "Is that 600,000?" I was like, "It could have been." Like, I don't know. Like, it says 200,000 3 times, 2, 4, 6. It's 600,000 in my mind. It makes perfect sense, right? So you want to make sure you're going through slowly each part of part 2, right? Each part of part 2 needs to be addressed the right way in the script because a lot of you guys are closing deals, but you guys are getting off script once you know in your heart that deal is closed. But if you're still like, "Oh, I gotta sell them, you guys stay on script. But as soon as they're like, "I'm ready to buy," you guys throw the script out the window. So make sure you guys are still focused on that. And that boils down to leadership and duplication and coachability also. Because the more that you guys are on script, the easier it is to scale to 7 figures. Right? That's the biggest thing that Marcus taught me. Because I had a multi-7-figure agency and it fell apart because when I walked away, there wasn't anybody to duplicate. No, there was no duplication process. There was no reading the script word for word. Right? I had to train every single person individually, and that's not duplicatable, right? If you bring on 20, 30, 40, 50 people a month, you can't train all of them, right? Like, you guys should plan to be like, we were in a leadership meeting with David yesterday, and David said, Mark Nielsen hires a lot of people. I was like, "David, can you define the word a lot? What is a lot of people?" And David said, like 200 a month. I was like, "Okay, fire, 200 people a month." I was like, "All right, so if I want to hire 200 people a month, I can't train all of them individually." So that's why that's why it's so important to stick to the script, because when you have 200 people coming in a month, 50 of them are listening to Faith, 50 of them are listening to Brittany, 50 of them are listening to Garnica, 50 of them are listening to Zach, 50 of them are listening to Nick, 50 of them are listening to Aiden, right? And it needs to be the same where all 50 of those people go. Because if you guys don't see the vision, like the vision is like literally 160 million for the agency, 200 million, 300 million a year in production in David's agency alone, right? Like, this agency that you guys are a part of right now, it's still on the ground floor and it's about to explode. So you guys want to be positioned to win. You guys want to be in position, right? Have you guys heard of getting in position? When it's a trading term, like basically you just want to be in position. And this is a great position for you guys to be in right now. There's no better position for you guys to be than at AO right now. The reason being is because the quality team is amazing. Your quality is so important here. Your quality is covered. We got quality trainings with Travis, quality trainings with Ella, quality trainings with Lenore. You got top closers like Aiden and Aiden doing, great. And Jacob Valdelon, 40 something, 50 something K in a month, right? You guys got top trainers. You got top people teaching retention. You got people like myself. I'm hiring like at least a minimum of 5 to 10 people a week. So you guys have every single key aspect that you guys need to be able to go and achieve what you want. So get clear on your goals, stay duplicatable, learn how to coach people the right way regarding to their personality, take notes on your team, stick to the script, down close properly. Good? Awesome. Does anybody want to talk about something specific that they've encountered or questions that they have when it comes to hiring, training, leadership, my previous failures in business, any of those topics?
Hey, Luke.
Yes, sir.
None of those topics. Good morning to everybody. My question was, you talked about this new hire from BOA,
Mm-hmm.
and you were saying that if the actual client does not have with them a will, automatically they go into probate?
Yes.
Automatically?
So that if you are a client at Bank of America, I personally have Bank of America. So I know my wife is listening. I don't know if hopefully she's the beneficiary on my account. But if you do not have a beneficiary listed on your Bank of America account, that's what goes into probate automatically. So you need to have a beneficiary listed on those accounts.
What if I do have a will outside of Bank of America and I do include, as a client, I include my BOA account information?
As long as
still protect me?
Yes, that's fine. With the notarization, you're going to be fine. As long as you have a will in place that says this account goes to this person, that's going to be okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, so the conviction matters a lot on that. That's a good question. So
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to kind of reference what you're saying, because I kind of get stumped on that area when I am presenting, because I don't want to get stumped on that area no more. She kept asking about the carrier protection, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is and why it is asking, saying 200,000 for accident, 200,000 for car accident, $200, 200,000 for carrier, and so space right there, I think it's important for me to kind of really horn in on that area, so that way I will be able to speak clearly and concisely in that area. Also, the structuring of the plan, I kind of get stumped right there, because I don't want, and then I don't want to underprice where I'm not doing justice for them as well as myself. And I found that that's where I kind of get stumped. So it's like, what is breaking it down, like as you have stated here, really helps me to understand what I need to present to them. And then at that point, we can fluctuate it up and down depending on their needs. And that call yesterday, what she kept saying was, at the end, which I should have addressed it, she said, well, if I want to cancel, what do I need to do? And I said, oh, you'll just call me. But what I should have really just magnified, why would you want to cancel when you only have a term policy that will cancel when you're 80 years old and you don't have anything else to cover you? And so I was magnifying different things where what she was telling me throughout the presentation. But at the end, she was like, well, if I needed to cancel, what do I do? And so just for her having that thought of, I may have to cancel, I should have addressed it so I can understand, why would you want to cancel?
Yes.
And so that way, take away those fears of why you want to cancel, and this is what you need to do. I can tell you, you can call me. And then at the end, she said, well, once I get everything situated in my life, who do I call? Because I do want to increase absolutely you'll give me a call. She did say that at the end, but me wanting to address the reasons of why she wanted to cancel, I think that's important as well. So I wanted to say thank you for bringing that out. And I am going to study that one area where I keep, just because I don't understand it. And so because I don't understand it, I need help in that area. So thank you. I digress.
Let's go. Super, super proud of you. That was an amazing sale. So also, two things you want to take into account. Number one, common carrier is taxi, Uber, Lyft, or a plane crash. So auto is just, a car accident. Common carrier is someone else is driving you. And then accident, it's all the same thing. So any type of accident. You said it right, but her specific question is, what is a common carrier? That's taxi, Uber, Lyft, or a plane. If you're looking in the script here, right? So it says click present plan. And then it says pick at least one reason below. So what is there? It's going to ask based off of your needs, an absolute need, a general need, or no need at all, right? This is what I was talking about. This is the platinum producer one. And this is the same pretty much in every single script. So pick at least one reason below. So she didn't have any permanent coverage. Okay. She might have had minor children. She definitely had a mortgage and a rent. She did not have any income protection. So now you see why there's an absolute need, right? And then it talks about their freedom of choice. And this is right here, Keisha, where you press spacebar for everything. But it actually says click freedom of choice, show certificate. And then, so let's see, super combo, right? Super combo only. And then it says hit space right there. So I want you to go through this one time and see where it says hit space. That's where you hit space. And then it says for seniors only, click beneficiary name. So D3, Keisha, is where you show the 3 plans: enhanced, recommended, and basic. This is where you show the 3 plans. And you always are going to show super ultra high, 400 to 800. And recommended is always going to be around 291 or 280 to 291 at the max. And then basic is always going to be between 160 and 220. Based off of their discretionary on what they have left is what they can actually afford, right? So if their discretionary is $400, I'm still going to show the $800 a month. But I know I'm going to down close to probably around 120, right? I know I'm going to down close to probably 80. So you have to take into account the discretionary on what you think they can afford. But D3 is where you show all 3 options. Press benefit summary, right? Enhanced, recommended, basic, right? So this is where you're talking about enhanced, recommended, basic. So what happened on Keisha's deal is, Keisha, you closed her way up here. So you closed her at B4. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. You closed her at B4. So then you skipped all the way down to D3, basically. No, you even skipped down. You actually skipped all the way down to almost D4. So just because they agree with the price at the very top doesn't mean that you skip the rest of the script. That's for everybody. So if they buy, right off the rip, continue to work through and building the value, building the pain, building the gap, right? That's what we're here. We're covering the gaps. We're filling in the gaps that they don't have. So yes, they want to buy life insurance, but we're not here to sell life insurance. We're here to fill in the gaps that life insurance doesn't provide. Does that make sense? So you want to go through all of this properly until you get all the way down where it says click beneficiary. Type in the beneficiary's name, right? So pay attention to these highlighted things. And then when it comes to, wanting to cancel, you're right. That's a great point. Hey, how do I cancel this? Well, let's figure out why would you want to do that, right? And then every single close, availability, foot in the door. I need to make a decision, right? All of your rebuttals are right there. So make sure you guys are utilizing the full script, not just the part till where you close the deal. Garnica, you want to add anything?
Yeah, so a lot of people think that with down closing, once they set a price, okay, now we're just gonna fill out. Yeah, no, we have to cement that. So it's still following the script, still acting, not oh, okay, you find a price, let's go. Keeping calm, right? Obviously following the script. So you're gonna say, before I proceed, right, the next step is to complete the application, but I want to make sure that this amount of price or this set premium is 100% comfortable with you. And you want to let them say that, so they can ring in their ears, right? That way, once you fill out the entire application, and then after, one last thing that I actually do to like really cement it, before I send it over to them for signing, what I tell them is they highly recommend no upgrades, downgrades, or changes